Oh yeah. Saving the innocent from corporate radio. This is the show where Ohio throws down. Ohio is on fire. Season 9. The farewell tour. I am the host, Daniel Diesel, and I am in action. Although not for much longer, but I'm still here. And we'll do it better than anyone else in the region, like you know I can do. And I'm here for you. We're going to have some fun tonight. It is Tuesday night. We are live here at Wright State University, Fairborn, Dayton, Ohio. That's, I guess, I never understood that, because I guess technically we're Fairborn, Ohio, but we're really close to Dayton, according to, I guess, the market map. But the thing is, the next city over to Fairborn is Riverside. So shouldn't we be Fairborn, Riverside, Ohio? Or perhaps Riverside, Fairborn, Dayton, Ohio? Maybe we're all three things. I don't know. Maybe one day we'll work that out. But tonight, it's going to be another awesome show. We're live. And, of course, I will have a guest later tonight. His name is Bill Franz. He is a legendary photographer from the Dayton, Ohio area. He's a photographer and he's an artist. He's done a lot of cool work with the arts in the area. And I'm meeting him for the first time. I learned about him 2 months ago. And so like I said, we're not like best friends in the world. Although we could be, because I'm meeting him tonight and I met him in the lobby. He seems like a cool guy. And throughout the night, he's taking cool pictures of me. And my fans are waving at me because I'm awesome, as always. So Bill Franz will be here tonight, and we'll have a cool interview. He's determined. He wants to share some things that he's never shared before when it comes to the photography, the world of photography. So there's that. Of course, now I'm playing independent music. I am playing more of a collection of the Dayton Does Dayton music, which Louis Wood Jr. sent me. He sent me some more material. I believe this will be the last week I'll play music from artists that's going to be at that concert, although I might do another week, depends on what artists he didn't give me. But there's like 6 or 7 more here he has for me, and plus I'll do the National Indie Music Showcase later tonight. So it's music that's that's charting really good on the CMJ charts. So tonight I'm celebrating good independent music, and of course you can call me here live at 937-775-5555. And I'm here. I'll take your questions, or if you have a question for Bill Franz, you can do that. And if it's appropriate, I'll ask him that question. And yes, the people here at Wright State, they're just so happy to be here. Look at them. They're all talking and skipping and all that good stuff. It's a wonderful world we live in, which I got to get into this. I always do silly holidays on my show. And today actually is a silly holiday. And it's not an obscured silly holiday. This is actually a holiday everyone should probably know about. Now I'm talking about a little holiday called Groundhog Day. Yes, this is the day where Phil the Hedgehog, or Phil the Groundhog, whatever he wants to call himself, he comes out of the ground, and people gather around to watch this hedgehog, see if he can see his shadow. And it determines if we have 6 more weeks of winter or not. And I think this is the first time I've ever done a show live on Groundhog Day, and I think it's quite befitting because there's some things I'm going to get off my chest. But just a reminder about Groundhog Day. I believe if he sees a shadow, then he hides back. I guess that makes him upset, and that means we have 6 more weeks of winter. If he doesn't see a shadow, then that means that it's already spring, that we get spring early and everyone's happy. But so it seems like to me, I think he always sees a shadow then, because I think it's never been spring early, as it always remains winter. So that's not good. He's always sees a shadow. So maybe one day that will change. But the thing about Groundhog Day is that it reminds me of that movie with Bill Murray. Bill Murray is one of my favorite actors, and perhaps one of my favorite films with him in it is Groundhog Day. What it is, he's a news anchor, and he is sent to cover the Groundhog event, which is over in Puxatory, Pennsylvania. And what it is, it's like a big event. There's like this park that they go to. and they gather around, and I think it's like 6 in the morning that this happens, 6 or 7 in the morning, and they just wait for this groundhog to come out, and there's a lot of news teams that comes out and they witness this event. It's like Woodstock. Yeah, it's crazy. People from all over come and see this. They go over to Pennsylvania, and what is Bill Murray, his character, their news crew is assigned to talk about this event. And to begin the movie, he's kind of a jerk. Like, he hates his job. He's he's not happy with his career. And he was just a jerk in general. Like, he hated everything. He was making fun of his news team and the people around him. And then, one day he woke up. He was staying at a hotel over in this area, and I guess he noticed one day that he noticed things didn't change. Like, it was the same as it was the day before. Like, the radio would turn on and that song by Sonny and Cher would start playing. And he noticed this kept happening day in and day out for like a few days. And then he realized that he was stuck. He was in kind of a time warp. He was living the same day over and over and over again. And the movie was quite hilarious. Like, it started a bit dramatic because he was a jerk to everyone, but as he went along, he noticed some things. He was starting to change. He was thinking about what he could do to make the scenario different. And he was playing God in a way. In fact, at one point, he was joking with the Annie McDowell character, which wound up being his love interest throughout the movie. He told her at one point that he was a god, that he knew what everyone fought and did at the same time. It was great. If you haven't seen it, go to Amazon.com and get it. It's good stuff. But he just did the same thing over and over again until, I guess I'm trying not to spoil it, things do change. As he changes as a person, his routine changes. And good things start to happen for him as he changes his attitude. And I can sort of relate to that movie because in my routine life, I do the same thing over and over and over again. Yes. What do I do in my typical life? I guess what I do is I go to school, like if it's a school semester, I have to come here 4 days out of the week. I get up early in the morning, I take the RTA bus, and I have to deal with the people that shout. Some of them are weird, some of them are decent. It gets pretty interesting on the RTA sometimes. I take that to get over here, and then I go to these classes, I listen to the teachers bumble on about God knows what, and then depends on the day, I'm doing some activity. Some nights I just go to lunch, or once a week I do this nice little radio show, which I get some appreciation for, sometimes not enough, but that's neither here or there, it's just my opinion. And of course, other days I do, I go out with my friends. Of course, also I'm also the president of the Comic Book League, and it's awesome. I do that once a week. That's fun, but then you know what? Then it all ends, because after a long day at school, I gotta go home. I gotta play with the kitty cats, and then I take me a shower, and I watch the news, then I go to bed, and then I get up and do the same thing all over again. And it's just routine, over and over and over again. And I got to thinking, what if I had the power of Bill Murray in that movie? If I could just flip the script. Like, what if I didn't go to school? Like, what if I didn't just show up one day for my radio show? Just ran away. Because all the stress in the world, it gets pretty stressful sometimes. Like, what happens if I just got a taxi, took that taxi all the way to California? What would happen? I'm trying to think what I would do if I lived in just like in Groundhog Day. If I did the same thing over and over again every day. One thing I would do, I would go to Mount Everest. I've always heard about Mount Everest. And this is speaking if I didn't die. Like, if I knew I couldn't die and that I can live forever, I probably would do some crazy stuff. I would probably, I'd go climb Mount Everest. I'd probably jump out of an airplane. I'd do a backflip. What else would I do? I'd go to the Columbus Zoo and I'd climb the cages and I'd get in that little private area with the gorillas and they'd have their way with me. I want to see how much I could agitate the gorillas before I got killed, just to test my limits. Yes, you know what? I agree with that movie, and I'm getting waved at by my peoples, my good people that care about my well-being. Anywho, back to the radio show. You guys can't see these people at home, but they adore me. It's 10,000 people just run across here saying they have "I love Daniel Diesel" on their chests. But anyway, I think I would. If I had the abilities of the Bill Murray character, I would do crazy stuff. If I knew I couldn't die or I would just wake up the next day, you know, I'd probably go streaking at a certain educational building, not necessarily this one, but some educational building. I'd probably take it all off, let it hang free on an early morning breeze, and go streaking someplace. And then the cops would come get me, but then I'd wake up and I'd be right back in my bedroom, ready to go to school. Like nothing ever happened. So that's what I would do. So if you ever see me on Channel 7 one day and I'm in the news for doing something crazy, just remember I should have been in the right state that day. I was supposed to be on my routine, but I didn't do it. I decided to go live life for once. So just remember that, just a little tip. And we're back live with Ohio is on Fire. You just heard back-to-back songs from the Wild Mountain Berries. Those songs, the first one I played, it was Never Sober, and then just now I played Come Love. And I'm looking at the files that was sent by Louis Wood. He sent me 4 other songs by that band. I'll play that throughout the show, as I got other independent songs I'm going to play tonight. So I'll spread that out. And I'm going to try to look up other bands and artists that's performing at Dayton Does Dayton. I'll see if I can play them as we get close to the concert date, because I will be there. I am really looking forward to that event of any other that's been in Dayton. And Louis Wood confirmed on Facebook this week that that concert that's going to be on February 27 and 28. February 26 and 27. It's going to be Friday and Saturday. It is the most sponsored music concert in the history of Dayton, Ohio. And he's still looking for more sponsors, so it's going to be a mega event. I'm excited, so I am looking forward to that. And I think it's now time for everyone's favorite segment. It is now time for the segment where people, they buy a ticket, they buy it at Ticketmaster.com, and they tell their family, hey, I'm going to check this segment out. That segment is OMVP. And that stands for Ohio's Most Valuable Pedestrian. Ooh, ah. And if you don't know what OMVP is, that is a segment it's an award, which is not really an award to people or places or things, nouns pretty much, in the state of Ohio, or they were visiting the state of Ohio. They did something good. Or like that something that was positive that people was like, oh, check that out. Or they did something weird, but it was still in a good way, and it was enough to be honored as an MVP person. But I have won most episodes, although there was a few times in my show's history I went on protest and didn't do it because of all the crap that goes on in the world. But no worries, I got one tonight. It's an individual that I got familiar with many months back, because right now I am an active member of the comic book community. Of course, I'm the current president of the Comic Book League. There is a guy, Jack Mavericks. He is the owner of his own store over in Kettering, Ohio, and he's actually been in business for over 30 years, him and his family. But let me tell you about it. I'm doing this for free, so no, I was not paid. This is something I think is I feel is really cool, and I'm using my time to talk about this. But he owns a place called Mavericks Cards and Comics. What he does, it's over in Kettering, located Woodman Plaza. It's open Mondays through Sundays. But you can get comic books, you can get video games, you can get a thing called Magic Singles, in which there's this card game. It's these magic characters. And of course, when you roll the dice, you had to perform an action. It's sort of like an elimination kill game, where you have to kill your opponent to score points. And that's what this Magic the Gathering, that's what it is. So they offer Magic the Gathering card games. And yes, my fans are now on camera. Yeah! Come in here. You want in here? Let me talk to you. No, you got to go? All right. You're welcome to come in. I can interview you. I'm trying to get 3 lovely young ladies live on my show because they've came by here a few times. I think they're taking them. They're going to take me up on my offer. I think. Hold on a second. You guys want to come in?
Sure.
Just for a few. You can help me do MVP. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a treat. I found 3 ladies. I think they're fans of the radio station, but they're here. They're going to help me with OMVP. Hi, guys. Hello, guys.
Hi. Hello.
All right. Yeah, that mic right there. So what are your names?
Savannah.
Okay, we got Savannah,
Ashley,
Kayla.
and Kayla. Well, welcome to the show.
Hi.
What's your favorite song? Right now or any time ever?
any Fetty Wap song.
By what?
Fetty Wap.
Oh, I've heard of him. Well, I'll see what I can do. He's pretty dirty, though. I'll see if I can come up with something clean later in the show.
Taylor
And let me ask
Swift.
you, do you like comic books?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me tell you something. There's a guy named Jack Mavericks. He owns a comic book store. He is that store's been in business for over 30 years. It's a big major store. So you got to go over there and buy his comic books. So if there's anything that you can do this weekend, is go check him out. But let me ask you this: are you looking forward to the Super Bowl? Are you into football?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to win? The Patriots?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're not in the Super Bowl. No. Oh my God. It is the Denver Broncos versus the Carolina Panthers.
The Panthers.
Panthers.
The Panthers. Oh, well, that's better. Yeah, the Patriots were eliminated last week, so it's okay. So, has it been your lifelong dream to be live on the radio?
Yeah.
Well, you're living your dream. So I'm glad to have you on. And of course, later tonight I'm interviewing Bill Franz. He is a photographer, and he is really good. He's the best He's the best photographer in the world, and I'm going to talk to him. So I know you ladies probably have to go, but listen. This is 106.9 FM, so tune into that and listen to the interview. We're going to be doing that in like 15 minutes from now. So let me. I have one more question before I let you go. Is there any good parties this weekend, or any cool concerts or parties on campus that we should be aware of that you're allowed to talk about?
Not on campus,
Not
but
on-
the province.
The what?
The province across the street.
The province. Oh, there's going to be a party at the province this weekend. So I'll be joining. So I know I'm going to do this Saturday. I'm going to be joining Ashley and Savannah. In
Building 4.
Building 4. Party at Building 4 this Saturday. All right. Well, thank you, ladies. All right. Thank you, ladies. So, excellent. I'm mingling with my fans. I love it. All right. So with that, and so Jack Mavericks, you are an awesome comic book store owner. You have an excellent collection of the Incredible Hulk action figures, and you got Boom, the comic book series. And you look like a good guy. I hope to meet you because I've yet to meet you in person, but we have become friends on Facebook. But Jack Mavericks in your store, cards and comics, and also not only that I'm giving you this MVP award, but I got 3 lovely I can't even speak. I got 3 lovely young ladies to be on the show, and they support you being this episode's OMVP. And that stands for Ohio's Most Valuable Pedestrian. So round of applause for Jack Mavericks. And we're back live here in the studio here, and we are on Ohio is on Fire. I'm with my special guest for tonight. Well, yeah, once again, I'm Daniel Diesel. I'm with my guest of tonight. He is a very well-known photographer in the Dayton, Ohio area and for various parts around the country. He is the one and only Bill Franz. Say hello, Bill.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Well, thank you very much, Bill. It's good to have you. So, I want to ask you, when was the very first time you had any sort of interest in taking pictures, like in your youth or teenager? When did it happen?
Well, you know, I've I've always liked photography, and but it's never been a big part of my life until I retired, actually.
Oh, okay.
I took pictures on vacation like everybody does and tried to make them good pictures, but it really was when I retired that I focused on this full time. Just before I started cutting back on work,
Yeah.
I came across some work by a guy called Arthur Morris.
Okay.
He was a retired teacher and had become the U.S. leading bird photographer in retirement.
Yeah.
And being a retired teacher, you could understand what he was teaching you too, unlike a
Yes.
lot of photography teachers. So I read his books, and he kind of inspired me, and I started taking pictures and trying to follow in his footsteps at first.
Well, before you did retire, what did you do for a living? Like, what were some things that you did?
Well, I was a chemical engineer first, designing chemical plants.
Okay.
Then I got into the business side, and eventually, the last 15 or 20 years, I was a business consultant.
Okay. Well, not to be too personal, but people have dreams. So I take it that now that you've done a lot of your photography work after you retired from that profession. Were you like ever miserable? Like, was there like a period in your life you were miserable? Like, I really want to do this, but I can't because I got this job. Like, did you ever feel locked down?
You know, I really didn't while I was doing the work.
Okay.
But then later, in my 50s, and you start doing things you've already done, doing things for the second or third or fourth time,
Okay.
it just seemed like it was time for me to do something new. So this is a radical departure. Taking pictures almost all day, every day, is a lot different than being a consultant.
Was there a picture that you saw in your youth that really inspired you? Did you recall, like, perhaps a sporting event? Do you recall? Or perhaps a painting? Anything special?
You'd mentioned that before, and I really couldn't think of anything that was that inspiring. I do remember as a kid, there were a bunch of people from the Toledo Zoo, I think, going to South America on some sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And as a child, I fantasized about being the photographer in that crew.
Yeah.
Not so much because of the photos, but because it's an excuse to be there.
Oh, okay.
And although I didn't have a camera, and that wasn't going to happen.
Okay.
Actually, I had a Brownie camera, but that really wasn't good enough equipment to go with them on their expedition.
Go ahead.
But that getting access, that's as much as anything what I enjoy about the photography. I mean, I like taking the pictures. I like trying to make them as good as I can. But I love that it's an excuse to go places I wouldn't go otherwise.
Well, that is a good excuse. It looks like you've visited a lot of really cool places, which I haven't seen yet. Maybe one day I will. But let me ask you, in the world of photography, I know there's a lot of businesses. People take pictures of weddings. Have you had any interest in starting your own business where you can actually make money off your pictures?
You know, I don't. Everything I do is as a volunteer.
Okay.
So I started out after I got halfway decent with my photography. I showed some of my bird pictures to somebody at the Humane Society.
Yeah.
They asked if I could take dog and cat pictures for their website.
Mm-hmm.
And I read about it, and the better your pictures are, the more dogs and cats get adopted. People
Wow.
see the website, they fall in love with the photo, they come
man.
in and they adopt animals. So I really like the idea of putting my photos to work right away instead of just having them stored on the computer.
Yes. Did they offer to pay you, or I mean, do you feel like you should be paid, or are you absolutely fine? Like when you do these pictures, are you fine that you do? It's just volunteer work. You don't get any money.
No, actually, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
And the fact that I work as a volunteer has actually helped me go places. For example, I went to the factory that makes all the NFL footballs in Ada, Ohio.
Yes.
And I explained to the people that anything I take as a picture inside your factory, I'll let you use. And anything that's good enough for me to sell, the money goes to the Humane Society.
All right.
And because of that pitch, they let me in.
Oh, that's amazing.
But without that if it was just, hey, I'm a photographer, I'd like to take pictures in your plant, that wouldn't have gone.
Okay, all right. So what got them was the connection with the Humane Society.
Everybody likes the Humane Society.
That's a noble That's a really noble gesture. Because I've had a chance to peek at your work. Because you got a blog. I'll go ahead and promote your website. You're at BillFranz17.com. Dayton artists at work. But you tend to visit other artists that's in the Dayton, Ohio area, and you write stories about them. And of course, you got other places where we can see your photography work. So it's yeah. I mean, you take really good. People say that anyone can take a photo, which I guess that's true. But there's something to be said about taking a great photo, where there's a story that can be told, and you do a good job of it. Which is why you're here tonight. You've grown you've grown quite a following in the Miami Valley with your great picture work. So I'm surprised you're not getting. I feel like you should be paid. I mean, that's really nice that you do this as a volunteer effort.
I am being paid for this show, right?
Oh yeah, the check's in the mail. So there you go. But let me ask you, other than taking pictures, do you have other talents in the arts? Just pictures?
Just pictures, really. And the pictures are pretty straightforward. A lot of people do digital art to a greater extent than I do. Maybe 15 years from now, when I can't crawl around factories and other places, I'll take the 50,000 pictures on my computer and start turning them into different kinds of art.
Okay.
But right now, I'm a pretty straightforward photographer, and that's been what I've been trying to improve at.
Do you have a favorite pastime that you like to take pictures of?
Well, my favorite photography is people when they're working.
Okay.
Which is why I try to talk myself into places like the Wilson Football Factory. And the nice thing about it is that after about 5 minutes, even less, they forget I'm there. Whereas you take a lot of people's photos. If I take your photo now, you're self-conscious, at least to a certain extent. But if you were in a factory, after a minute or two, you just turn me off.
I'm in the zone. I wouldn't know you were there.
Right. And so I can think about lighting, I can think about the best angles, I can think about the best way to construct the picture, and you're not going to be self-conscious as I take it.
I think I agree, because I think before the show started, you were doing some photography work, because yours truly, I had to set up a certain way before the show, and I'm in the zone, and he's already doing it.
Yeah.
I turn my head for 3 seconds, and he's already taking pictures. I look forward to the work, because I imagine you will show me what the pictures that you took of me. I imagine they'll be awesome, so I'm psyched. So I will see those soon. Let me see. Have you ever taken a picture of a celebrity or someone who perhaps in that area was considered a celebrity? Besides me. I'm just kidding.
Yes, tonight. Well, I guess not. It depends who you say is a celebrity. Last week I took pictures, and I just posted something yesterday of one of the dancers at DCDC, Sparkle Williams.
Okay.
She's been a professional dancer for 42 years, which is unheard of.
She's a celebrity in her field, so I guess an in-house celebrity.
Right. I've taken pictures of the youngest professional knife thrower in the country. He's a celebrity in a certain circle.
Yes.
And he's been on TV. But I guess I struggle to come up with a household word that I photographed.
What about the Dayton Dragons?
Oh yes, I've been into the Dragons and taken pictures and shared them with the Dragons.
Most of them become because baseball's on TV a lot, so I guess you watch sports. They're Dayton Dragons. They're the future of baseball because that's minor league, but a lot of them do become good enough to play for Cincinnati Reds, and then they're on TV a lot.
Right.
So yeah, those once again that's be an example of in-house celebrities, but that's very cool. Well, then I have one more question before I go to commercial. Do you is there any person that you like, perhaps a celebrity or perhaps a important political person that you like to take a picture of that you haven't yet?
Well, at the beginning of this year, I did a kind of a list of things I was aiming to do this year as far as photography, and then I threw it out to the people that follow the Facebook page to see if they had ideas. So I plan to shoot the Gem City Roller Girls, Rockstar Wrestling I haven't gotten to. That's been on my list for too long.
Yes.
I'd like to go back to the rodeo down in Waynesville. That's every Saturday night or Friday night. I forgot. Anyway, and because I've taken pictures of a lot of those people, but I'd like to get some stories to go with some of those pictures.
Right.
I actually got an idea from you after you asked me to do the show. I took a look at your YouTube page.
Yeah.
Looked at somebody you interviewed that does horror films.
Sean Burkett? Or, well, I've done several. There's Sean Burkett, and I did Henry Kuto.
That's him.
Oh,
That's
him.
Kuto.
Okay.
And looked at that tape and thought, that's somebody I should photograph. That's an interesting local guy.
Yes, he is. He's amazing. So, yes, well, I hope you get a chance to take a picture of him. Yeah, he's awesome. He's a party. Every time you see him, he's good times. So, with that, yes, Bill Franz is here. He is a great photographer. I'm a volunteer photographer.
WWSU 106.9 FM, Fairborn, Dayton, Dayton's right choice.
And we're back live with Ohio is on Fire. I am the host, Daniel Diesel. I'm still with my guest for tonight, Bill Franz. He is a local volunteer photographer, and a really good one at that, I say. And Bill, what is that in your hand? What is that?
Well, you know, when you emailed me and told me that each guest was required to bring a present, I thought I'd bring you this.
Okay. Well, you must have misread it. You're not required to bring a present, but I appreciate this. I like gifts. I think we'll go open it right now. I'm curious what this is. So, this is a live opening of the gift, and I'm trying to get the box close to the microphone because I can't have dead air. Because something's got to happen on the radio at all times. Ooh. All right. Boxes are everywhere, and it is a mug. All right. Now it is a City of Dayton photo by Bill Franz. And there's something inside that is, all right.
That's my card. But,
that's your card, all right. I got a drinking mug.
You do?
Yes.
The Dayton City paper, I did some photography for them, and they put those together to hand out to customers and various people.
Okay.
They gave me a few to use for Christmas presents, and one for you.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to up-close shot of my mug, which I'll try to take a picture of and put it on Facebook. So, and now speaking of Facebook, I want to talk to you a little bit about your work online. You have a page called Day Network and Play. Now, what's the purpose of that profile? What's it all about?
Well, I started that about 3 years ago. I had been doing work for a lot of different nonprofits. Maybe I've worked for 20 or so nonprofits doing projects. And I thought of doing this on my own. So every day I post some picture about Dayton.
Okay.
And since by the time I started the page, I had probably 5,000 photos I'd taken around Dayton, there wasn't a lot of pressure.
Okay.
I knew I could come up with one. As much as I can, they're topical. So the picture I posted today is people doing thatching at Sunwatch. They've hired a professional thatcher to do thatching at Sunwatch, and so I got some pictures of him at work.
Yeah.
So as much as I can, it's current. When I'm busy or don't get to something, then it's something that happened a year ago or 2 years ago, but it's still a photo that deals with Dayton at that time of the year. It's kind of caught on. I was kind of amazed as I started taking pictures how many interesting places there are in Dayton. You know,
yes, I agree.
As a photographer, you're always looking for something that's beautiful or something that's different, something that's interesting. And I was finding those things without having to hop on a plane and go to different places. I was finding a lot of interesting things in my hometown that I didn't know existed. So the page is a way to share that. And more and more people have started following the page. And the interesting thing is they've started giving me ideas on what I should photograph.
Excellent.
So somebody will, like, for example, I hadn't thought of the Gem City Roller Girls until somebody told me I should photograph them, and so now I'm trying to set up a shoot when I'll get to go meet someone. And I'd love to have as many people as possible follow the page, and more importantly, give me ideas.
Yes, well, I'll go ahead and plug the website, but yes, this looks. I'm taking a look at it now. The website is www.facebook.com/Dayton Network and Play, because all the words are capital. Well, the first letters of each word is capitalized, so it's Dayton, capital D, the Nat, capital A, and you'll figure out the rest. Day, Nat, work, and play. I do have an online question, so I'm going to go ahead. I believe it's good enough to ask. It's from, let's see, yes, her name is, oh, that's wrong. Her name's Gina Marie. She wants to know, do you have any pictures that's at a special that's at a stock website? Like, and I'm familiar. I kind of know what she's talking about, like photo.com or flick.com. Do you have any pictures in places like that?
No, I haven't done that. A lot of people do that. There's all kinds of ways people try to make money on photography. You mentioned wedding photography, and people take stock photography. Some of the best photographers make most of their money teaching the rest of us to become better photographers. People teaching, taking trips to various places and selling their books and their articles, that's the way a lot of people make their living in photography, because there are billions of pictures being taken every day. It's amazing.
It blows my mind. Yeah,
Actually, trying to make money off the quality of that picture is difficult. But there are so many photographers teaching them to be better. It's turned out to be a pretty good business for a lot of people.
Yes. So thank you for the question, Gina. I appreciate it. Well, let me ask you this. Now, you mostly do your work in Dayton, Ohio. What parts of the world, or perhaps parts of this country, have you been to and taken pictures?
Well, I've been to most of the states, although did a lot of that traveling when I was a businessman and without a camera.
Oh, okay.
Now with my camera, I've got two daughters. One lives in California, one lives in Canada. So those are trips that I take pretty regularly.
Excellent.
We went to Europe the summer before last, and did a lot of traveling in France and Germany and taking a lot of pictures, which I enjoy. On my Instagram page, I have all kinds of photos of people I've run into every place, not just in Dayton. But the Dayton at Work and Play Facebook page, I try to keep just to the Dayton people. Although the definition of exactly what is Dayton is my own. I include Springfield, if there's somebody interesting over there, or Greenville, or Miamisburg, or even Hamilton. It's places I don't mind driving to.
Okay. I was just curious. I was curious about your world experience with that, which I could possibly look up. Now, these pictures, for your Dayton at Work and Play, is it only pictures of Dayton, or have you done?
It is. No, everything
just Dayton.
Is a photo of people in Dayton. That's Yellow Springs there.
All right, just to make it official. Okay, and there's a lady with a mailbox. It's our Oakwood Register.
Right.
So that's Oakwood. And I'll try to be quick with this.
Downtown, and then that's towards Yellow Springs there.
Yes, I've been by there.
Country.
And there's the guy, which he did an article about him, John Socia. He did an article about him at your blog, the Bill France 17 website.
And then I have a picture of the plant in Ada. That's about an hour north or so, but
you can have hours of fun doing this, because yes, he takes a bunch of pictures, and so this could probably go on for hours. But there's I'll do one more. Yes, that's a video. Okay, January 9th, this is a guy and a lady. The front street buildings are filled with artists with an array of interesting businesses. So there's that. What's going on with that?
Something I've noticed with that page. At first I thought it was going to be about my great pictures of Dayton.
Yes.
But what I've found is that while people like good pictures, they like good stories a lot better.
Uh-huh.
So if I put even a mediocre picture, but it's with an interesting story, a lot more people pay attention to it. Maybe a good picture gets me 1,000 viewers, and where a good story might give me 30 or 40,000 people that pay attention to it.
Wait, so let me ask you this: what do you think when we put something online? What do you think we get more views? A good picture, or like I tripped up on my words. Is it what would get you more views? An article that has a picture along with the story, or an article that doesn't have a picture? What would get more people? What would get more of an interest?
Now, I always have a picture.
Yes.
But they're not. Quite honestly, you can't always take a great picture. If you're trying to promote some group's fundraiser, maybe I'm not going to have a great picture with that, but I want to get the word out.
Okay.
I'll have some picture.
All right, so it would be more important to have a good story about that fundraiser than a good picture.
Now, one reason I brought up the story is that I took some pictures of you, Daniel.
Yes.
But I'm not sure what story should go with those pictures. What should I say about Daniel?
That's a good question. Well, I have big dreams. That's one of the reasons why I volunteer here, which I should let you know I'll be leaving this station March 8th, which I don't think I announced the date yet because I am leaving this station soon. But I want to be an entertainer. And, of course, my first stint here was 2010. And I guess when I was a kid, I always loved the talk shows on TV. You know, there was David Letterman, Jay Leno, Conan O'Brien, even in radio, like there was Howard Stern, and then around here there was Jeff. I believe his name was Jeff Montgomery. He used to be on WTUE. I'm sorry if I'm drawing a blank on his name. He was a guy I loved listening to. Of course, just a Fry guy. He's been around for a while. And then Channel 7 News. Every once in a while, I'd watch the news. I was excited by the broadcaster. You know, Mike Hartsock, and Jim Baldridge, and Cheryl McKinley, and then there was Warren Madden. I was more fascinated with the broadcast hosts because when you were the host, that means you're in control, and I love that. So I want to do something that puts me in control. I think that's one story that describes me.
I think that's great.
Well, I hope so. I'm glad you liked it. All right. So yes, your web pages. There's Day Network and Play, and also I was just there. It's the Bill Franz 17 at well, yeah. What that website? Is it BillFranz17@gmail.com?
Well, that's my.
I'm sorry. That's your.
address.
I'm sorry.
Bill Franz 17 will get you to it.
Bill Franz 17. All right. Well, I must have clicked out of it. But anyway, that's another place. Because I know at the Bill Friends 17 website, I did notice that not only did you take pictures, but you had a story for each person. So that's really unique. I think that takes a lot of work. Is there, within the last year, is there a story that was your favorite among all the ones that you took in? Was there one that comes to mind that was like, man, this was, you either were surprised by it or you were shocked by it? That maybe we can all look up.
Oh, gosh.
Putting you on the spot, I know.
You are. That's a good question. Well, actually, I was amazed at at the attention that Sparkle and her picture got.
Sparkle Williams.
Sparkle Williams,
Okay.
the 53-year-old dancer
Okay.
at DC, and the attention that photo and a little bit about her got. And I think 50-some people reposted that, and that's the kind of thing that makes that maybe 8,000 or 9,000 people have seen it so far. But I keep getting comments, and those are the kinds of things I just love to get the story of somebody out.
Yes. Well, these are all good stories. You have hundreds of these, so on my downtime, this is something that I definitely can look into. All these stories that you have. So let's see. What is it? I got two more questions for you. Now, since you live in Dayton, what's the best? What do you like best about Dayton? What do you really love about it?
Well, I personally think it's a great size for a town. It's large enough that there are things to do. There's good theater. There's just all kinds of things in the arts. Decent shopping, good restaurants. There's a lot to do, but it's small enough that you can get around.
Yeah.
And it's small enough that you can find people to talk to about anything.
Yeah.
I really feel that it's great for a photographer. I feel that I can get access and talk to just about anybody in town.
All right. Well, I want to ask you this. What goals do you have any goals for yourself as a photographer moving forward? Something that maybe you haven't accomplished yet that maybe you'd be interested in?
I'd like to get better with the words that go with my pictures.
Yeah.
Something I've been thinking about a lot is good photography is elimination. If I take the camera, I can shoot just a myriad of things, but maybe I'll focus in on your mouth with the microphone, and I'll do that at a time when maybe I take 2 or 3 and get that split second when it's a good picture of just that piece. Now, I'd like to be that way with words and be able get an idea across with a very small number of words, and I'm not there yet. So I'd like to be a better wordsmith and to go along with my photography.
You know, I can relate. I don't know about the photography, but I'd like to be a better wordsmith also. If I'm going to be a public speaker, that's something I look to improve on. So you and me have a similar battle. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, I got some of that advice from Larry Price. Even the small town I live in, I don't think I'll ever be the best photographer in that town unless Larry moves.
Yeah.
Larry's got 2 Pulitzers and an Emmy in photography, and he lives in the town of Oakwood, near me.
Yes.
But one thing that I've heard Larry tell young photographers is that they should also get better with words so that they can be taking pictures and writing articles.
Yes. I think that's great. That's great advice. Especially, I mean, yeah, if you're working in public, I think it's good to have some speaking ability. There are the silent types, which that's fine, but like I said, if I'm going to be in radio and you're going to be in photography, yeah, you definitely should be social. That's great. Yes, that's awesome advice. Be a good wordsmith. So that's something you and me will be working on. Is there anything, I'm out of questions. Is there anything you want to add before you leave us tonight?
Oh, not really. I would like to have as many people as possible follow my Facebook page, mostly to give me ideas on the great things in Dayton that I haven't gotten to yet.
Yes, go there. And I'll tell you what I'll do. Like I said, these shows I do, it takes me a week or two to get them on YouTube. I'll tell people, hey, go to this website. Hopefully some people will come, and I'll try. I might get a sponsored. They have a thing at Facebook where it's sponsored, and it takes a few bucks, and it spreads out the word a little bit faster into more people. So I'll see what I can do for one time only, because I do realize, being that you're a volunteer, it's kind of hard for you to always get the word out. Although, you know what, I will make a suggestion since I'm live on the radio. Are you familiar with Dayton Does Dayton? The concert event Dayton Does Dayton.
No.
Well, I'll just say, I had Louis Wood Jr. on the show last week. He is all for having sponsors for his event, and he loves having community sponsors. So, I could, after the show, I guess I could talk to you about it. I can give you his contact. He might want you to take pictures either at the show or maybe, he does a lot of concerts, Louis Wood Jr. So maybe I can hook you up with him. He can give you some work. And we'll see where we go from there.
Very good.
I think he'd be up for. I think he'd like working with you.
Very good.
So there you go. So we'll talk about that after we go off air here. So, but once again, Bill Franz, thank you for being on the show. Yes, thank you. So, and yes, go to his websites. He's at Facebook, Day Network and Play, and then BillFranz17.com. So, with that, thank you very much, and thank you to Dayton City Paper. And of course, this mug, which it's a Bill Franz photo. It's beautiful. I will never drink all this mug because I got a Hall of Fame of goodies I've gone over the years that's in my work in radio, and this is join that Hall of Fame.
You're listening to
And we are back live with Ohio is on Fire. I am the host, Daniel Diesel. Once again, big thank you to Bill Franz. For next Tuesday night show, I'm live with another new episode, and I only got several more left, but I'll be live once again. There's a new gaming company that's right here in Dayton, Ohio called Gallantoon. Several of the staff, including the owner and founder, Alan Wick. Hopefully I didn't get it's either Alan Wick or Adam Wick, because his middle name is the other first name. So my bad. I got it. It's Adam Wick, Adam Allen Wick. So he's got the 3-name deal like Sarah Michelle Gellar. So Adam Allen Wick he's from Gallantoon, along with he might bring several other staff members. They'll be here live next Tuesday night, and they have a new game that's named after the company, Gallantoon, which I've had a chance to play, and they have a Kickstarter for it. It'll be an awesome interview because he wants to really get the word out there about his new company. He's going to be live on the show next Tuesday. And also, I'll have comic book expert Greg This. He will be on the show live next week. He'll be my second guest. He will talk about his work with Gem City Comic Con and with Big Brother, Big Sister, the Dayton, Ohio chapter. He is heavily involved with that group. So it'll be his opportunity to talk about what's going on with them in the area. So I got two good guests next week, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So that's next Tuesday night. But now it's time for the final message. Since I had a guy on tonight who his passion is to take good pictures, to be a good photographer, I want to talk to you my opinion on what it takes to make a good picture. What does it mean to have a good picture? There's probably millions of things that can happen to you within a given week. Like every second is a moment, I've heard. Every second is a moment, and every moment is a memory. Every moment can become a memory. And of course, with memories, you either keep them or you can lose them. When you take a picture, you never lose that memory. It is a moment that's frozen in time, and I think it's very powerful. I think of all the creations that we have in this world, let's see, we got electricity, we have the highways, which people can use cars to travel on, we have hospitals, and I think I said microwaves, I don't know. We have iPods. Of all the cool things that we have, the ability to take a picture, I think might be the most, if it's not the most powerful, perhaps it's number two. Because we cherish our memories. Like anyone can take a picture. Whether you're a bad person or a good person, whatever you do in your life, there's always a picture. Everyone takes a picture of their family and their pet dog during the holidays. And it's very powerful. There's probably a few people that do hate getting their picture taken. And I know a few personally, but that's no big deal. I guess there's a stigma with those that are against pictures. It steals your soul, that all of your memories should stay within you and no one else. And pictures could steal from that. That's a religious belief, and you're entitled to that belief. But with that, I would say the majority, I think we understand the power of picture taken and in images, the ability to see. It is amazing. And I'm going to list all of the good examples that picture can do. Imagine you're a guy in the army, and you have a wife, and of course you're up on duty. You can't see your wife. Maybe you have a child. You can't see them for months on end. Well, that wife can take a picture of her and the growing baby, and she can mail it to that said husband who is serving in the army, and voila, he's got a picture to look at, and it's awesome. That picture alone would consider this guy's in war, or he's got all that workout he's got to do. He's being yelled at by the sergeant. Having that picture will light up his heart, and that's power right there. So that's one good example. I think another good example I can think of would be the way that Bill Franz does it. If you're looking at something that's beautiful, something that is thought-invoking, get out your little digital camera or your cell phone camera. Maybe you take a selfie with your friends, and you take a picture. And it's a really happy moment that you can remember, you can live over and over again forever and ever. I think that's powerful. And another thing about pictures, they can be used for negativity. Think of all the criminals that we have. When they get arrested, they get their mug shot. Or perhaps there's war going on, like in the streets. A person from her apartment building, she can look down at the gang activity, take her picture, and people can see the chaos. They can see the pain, the passion that goes on. So it can be used for serious things. You can take a picture of, if you're a cook, you can take a picture of the cookies that you baked. If you're a fisherman, you take a picture of the fish that you just caught. One of those big fish, and and you can get it framed. You meet your favorite celebrity at a local concert. Take a picture of that celebrity. They'll probably charge you $20, but at least you can say, "Hey, I met that celebrity." One more good example I can list of the power of a picture. One more good example would be that it's a way to prove people wrong. Because everyone has their battles. Perhaps there's a child who grew up to be a man. Perhaps he Maybe he had an abusive home. Maybe his father ran out on him. Yeah, I'll use that example. Say someone who had an abusive father, a broken home. It was a person who had a troubling childhood, faced a lot of stress, but then he or she overcome that. She was able to get past that. Their father wasn't in their life. And perhaps this person plays sports. Maybe the guy is the star of the he's a star quarterback of the football team. And he is very loved. And his father didn't help him towards that. Perhaps he had to go to his friends. He had to go to another mentor who had a good talk with him, told him that there's better things in life than being a drug addict and an alcoholic. Someone who, a much better life than living in that dangerous environment. A picture can tell that story. A picture can tell any story. But yeah, if you're someone who overcame adversity, you live a wonderful life, and perhaps your father wasn't there for you, you can take that picture and then show everyone, tell them, hey Dad, what do you think of your son now? Shout it out loud. Go to the top of the building, shout as loud as you can, show that picture, tell them that you made it, that you are somebody, that you are of value of this world. Doesn't matter how bad you treat me, doesn't matter what boss fires you from your job. Take a picture of you doing something wonderful and tell them to shove it. Hey Dad, what do you think of your son now? Here's a picture that tells it. Tells a whole story. That is the power of a picture. That's what that means to me. In Ohio, Fairborn Dayton, Wright State University, that's the way it is.